But why we got a moment to chat tonight? I was talking to Eddie the other day, and I had to make up some business. I'm getting so much stuff now. I got to get rid of some of it. We never have had anybody chat about how we market some of our stuff. I know a lot of you guys, Etsy, and there's all different ways to do it. But I'm in a situation, I got to start moving some stuff.
You got a busy street corner?
Not that busy.
No.
Well, Dane has people begging about his stuff.
Well, I mean, we had, or I had a fella say something about getting an account with e-commerce, and then there's Etsy, and just put them on a web, get yourself a web page. I just was curious as to what some of you other guys are doing and gals.
Do you have any, or have you seen anything on your Facebook of any kind of craft fairs coming up?
Yeah, well, there's a couple.
If you go to even one of them, or talk to the other vendors there,
Uh-huh.
ask them in your area, where they normally set up, which places they do good at. Ask them, who to get a hold of to get into the craft shows.
Do you have an arts league in your area?
Hey,
A lot
what?
of times they'll have a gallery and you can work, some and work some and then sell stuff there. That's why I do
Yeah.
it.
Well, I have like, Facebook has a marketplace, and they have all these local areas that subscribe to that marketplace. But that's like it's like a specialized market for what we do.
Yeah, that it is.
One piece of advice, Ronald, make sure
Yeah.
you cover the price range.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
need high, low, and medium. Because if they get a sample, they'll come back for the full meal.
Mhm.
And that's what you want to do. My advice, pardon me, my humble
Mhm.
opinion.
No, I'll agree with Captain Eddie on that. I can tell you this last craft show that I didn't sell a single large bowl. I did great for the show, and I almost sold out of smalls.
Right.
But everybody was saying, "Hey, well, no, are you going to be here in November? Because I want to buy a bunch of those for my family for Christmas." But nobody was buying for anybody but themselves at this recent show. So,
Well, yeah, that's
we
like these
have all
bottle
prices.
stoppers. Now I'm making a bunch of these bottle stoppers, and basically they're going to be Christmas presents, and I was talking to a liquor store owner the other day, and he has about 6 liquor stores in the area. And I asked him about the bottle stoppers. He says he hardly ever sells any of them.
Might want to try a wine store.
Well, that's what it was. It's a liquor and wines. It's a high-end wine, but they have liquors too.
the problem there is he don't want them to stop drinking.
That's it.
Yeah.
You can't.
Well,
you
that's the
can't.
problem with bottle stoppers. You don't plug the bottle. You finish it.
Yeah, if you live in Louisiana, we've never had one.
There's only 2.
Yeah, Eddie calls them wimps.
Yeah.
Another idea you might want to try is get you a business card printed up.
I did that today.
Okay. Anytime you're out at a restaurant, leave your card with the bill. You go through McDonald's, hand them your card. Anybody you run into, doctor's office, and then tell them, what you do, or I don't know how you printed up your card, if you have a picture of anything that you made, or
I don't have that on the card now.
okay.
So car salesmen, they really like to have a fancy pen.
Yeah, or some of your local restaurants will have a bulletin board in there.
Right.
Your card on.
I don't want to be cruel, but take them when you go to the doctor's office.
Yeah.
Because if you give the nurse or a doctor one, they will use it and they will tell folks about it.
That's an idea.
Yeah, I think when I was
Uh,
working at Honda.
Maybe I'll have to up my order.
Yeah, I think the first 100 pins I passed them out at work, you know, and Lord, you wouldn't believe how many ink pens then I sold at work.
Every doctor I see, which is a large group of people, everyone I see gets an ink pen. And I'll carry one with me every time we go to this big hospital because the aides change. And if we
Right.
recognize a new aide, it's a pen. And my doctor called me on the phone while I was displaced to see how I was feeling. And bragging about she's writing with my pen right now.
Huh.
So it's a small gift that has a lot coming with it.
But it's a
Ronald,
lot of-
where are you at?
Yourself. You got to market yourself.
I'm in Western Jersey. I'm right on the PA New Jersey border.
Okay.
Well, we'll keep
Anything
getting
about that area?
ideas. We'll keep getting ideas for you, Ronald, and folks will give us
appreciate it.
input. That's what this is made for, to provide information to wood turners.
Yep.
Hey,
Hey,
Ronald,
Yeah.
you got a pickup?
Say again.
You got a pickup truck?
I do.
You have a pickup truck?
I do.
So so you're out there in West Jersey, so cruise on up to cruise over to the Woodbridge area, set up camp there at one of the rest areas off the interstate, and sell off your tailgate.
Actually, I have a rest area right down the road.
There you go.
I'm right off 78,
Oh, okay.
I-78.
Don't overlook the local gift shops in your area. Every town has gift shops.
Yep.
And I've got my stuff in several of them.
For ink pens,
Okay.
stationery stores are important. I sold a ton of pens to one stationery store in New Orleans.
Stores.
But somebody started beating my price, so I walked away from it.
Yeah, you.
I appreciate it.
Yep, you're
Most
welcome.
of my stuff has ended up in about 4 or 5 boxes in the guest bedroom, and my wife's wanting me to get rid of them. So
I was
Oh,
thinking
hey.
about selling Etsy, but I see people selling turn pens for $6. It's like, nah, can't compete with that.
Well,
Well,
one thing I will say about that, just because somebody is selling something for $6 doesn't mean you have to.
Right?
And they may know what their stuff is worth.
Oh, I understand that, but if a customer is just going on Etsy looking for hand turned pens, he's going to buy the cheapest he can find.
Well, it
You
depends
know.
upon
Same
who the
thing,
person is.
Andy.
But unfortunately, there's classes. There's the class that's going to buy the $6 pen, and then there's the class that's going to buy the $60 pen or the $150 pen. You know.
Remember, the
So-
quality of the wood and the finish, it has to
I
pop.
Yeah. Last holidays, I put some pens on Facebook Marketplace and I didn't even get a touch. And they're $25.
That's Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
Consider
If
the
you put free-
audience.
You got to put free on there, and then you'll get some bites.
There you go.
Hey,
We
let's
don't-
let's go to Brooks here.
We're touching Australia and England or the Great Britain. I see Martin Clarkson with us tonight.
I'll jump in a little bit on the sales, Eddie.
Jump in.
Yeah, I'll jump in a little bit because I don't know well, you probably don't know me that well, but I have sold successfully for 5 years online. I spent the first 2 years scraping around trying to make a living and become professional 5 years ago. Etsy, I sell prolifically well on, and I'm going to throw out that somebody else is selling them at £6 remark straight away. I used to sell my little key rings on Etsy. I was the only seller for the key rings, for the shotgun key rings on Etsy, and they were £4.95, which is about $6. I made the mistake of putting them onto my Facebook, and at the time, my Facebook was full of other wood turners. Within 2 weeks, Etsy had 7 sellers of my cartridge keylings. What I did then was I put my price up to £6.95 because everybody had joined me at £4.50. So mine went up to £6.95 and I continued to sell them. And now, a year later, I was the only seller of them again. Because of course, everybody had jumped on the bandwagon and thought, he's making a load of money out of that. They can't sell them. The products that you sell, you will find that you will find your market for them. I have a very good friend of mine that just makes wands. That's all he makes. When I make a wand, I can't sell it. He sells thousands of these things. So look at the product that you're trying to sell and the market that you're trying to put into it and go for that market. And if you're going to use the likes of Etsy, Etsy will only draw traffic if you're pulling traffic into it. Etsy is like all of the other large websites. They need traffic to come there to be able to find you. So the effort that you put into your Etsy site, divert your traffic from the likes of Facebook, from your other social media sites into your Etsy site. Websites are all very good, but people again have to find them. If I look on the screen, we've got 79 people. There is no way, if every single one of you had a website and was trying to sell your work, there is no way I can find your website without knowing your name or your business name. I set up a business page on Facebook. So the reason for setting up a business page is to try and keep your personal life away from your business life, and your personal friends, which predominantly are going to be wood turners, keep them away from your business page. It's not that you don't want them to see what you're selling, it's that you need to keep it separate. Often I'll get a wood turner that will comment on an item that I've put onto my personal Facebook page. And normally what I do is I delete the comment because I don't want people commenting saying, that's really nice, I'm going to have a go at that. You know, there can't be this crossover if you want to sell your work, but you will only get out what you put in, and you've got to look for the market. Facebook Marketplace again is massive. You can't get anywhere near it. Look at your groups. So if, for example, you are making a honey dipper, look at the groups for beekeepers, because chances are a beekeeper who produces honey is going to sell honey. So he might be a guy who wants to buy 100 honey dippers. Look at your sporting groups if you're doing things with golfers and tennissers and and fishing people. Look at the little groups and try to target them groups. But be specific with what you make and try and follow it through. Get one thing at a time going. Once you've got one thing selling, you can then look at producing something else to sell into that market as well. They are
Makes perfect sense.
Thank you, Martin.
I would
Thank you.
support what Martin says, and as an example of a niche group to look for, as I started making yarn bowls, so I started marketing them to yarn and knitting groups, and they sold like hotcakes because all those people want specialized knitting bowls, and I got some really great feedback on how big to make them and stuff like that on the first couple ones I did. So, and that all helped too. So, and Facebook is my primary avenue of seller. I don't use Facebook Marketplace. I just post my stuff on Facebook and direct them, and all the other stuff is handled through messaging. So the short answer is you get out of it what you put into it. If you put a lot of effort into your Etsy site, it's going to do well. And Martin's ideas are really great. Thank you, Martin. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Thank you, Martin.
I mean, I've always said this. People get worried about other people copying and trying to steal trade and undercutting. Look at your own market. Forget about what everybody else is doing. I'm predominantly from the hotel and catering background, industry. And unfortunately, the high street is full of pubs in England. Pubs don't worry about what next door's doing. They work together. They don't put happy hours on together. They just sell together. They sell the same thing. And it doesn't matter what next door is doing, because you will find your customers. as long as you target market them customers and just start building yourself up slowly on one or two products. I often go to shows and I see lots of people, they have so much wood on display. They will set themselves a stall up and there is everything. There is bowls and there is pots and there is honey dippers and a million wooden items. And all it does is baffle the customer because they love everything, but they can't make their mind up about anything. So you kind of lose the sale by having too much. But like Eddie said, and the other chap that mentioned earlier on, you've got to look at your price points because you're not always going to sell the higher end of the market. You're going to look at picking them little bits up. And if you can keep it, I don't know what your price range would be like in America, but if you can keep it certainly over here, if it's less than a fiver, they're going to pick it up and not think about it. If it's less than £25, they're going to buy it for a friend. But once you start getting over the top of that, you are going to struggle at the likes of a craft fair.
Thank you, Martin. Boy, having a lot of great conversation on this. And it really matters how you, not only how you target your audience, but everybody that comes by has to have a business card when they walk away. Everybody. Yeah, I mean, it's nothing else. Stand at your booth and just, hi, I'm Bob and I do such and such. I'm not Bob, I'm Eddie. And I do such and such. And if you ever have an idea that you want me to work on, or you see something here you want to get a hold of me later on, everybody. And I use Vista Print online for my business card. And I've been absolutely happy with them. Been using them for about a dozen years. Absolutely happy. Every order that my company sends out, at the minimum's got a business card in there. Every one. My boss is hard on me, but that's one of her rules. Rusty, did you have something you wanted to jump in with?
Yeah, I used to run a produce stand in Virginia for a while, and I found that you have to find where people think something's good at. Because if you overprice something, they're not going to buy it. But if you underprice something, they're going to think something's wrong with it.
Right.
So you have to find that sweet spot, like on the produce with my tomatoes. Everybody else in town was selling them for $1 a pound. I was selling them for 79 cents a pound. If I dropped it to 69 cents, I couldn't sell them. If I went to $1, I couldn't sell them because they just go down to the farmer's market, buy them straight from the farmer. I was buying them from the farmer wholesale and selling them retail at less than what the farmer was charging retail. And it was just enough less that people liked the price difference. And they found that they were very good tomatoes, and I did real well that way. You got to find that sweet spot where to price your stuff.
I've been to craft fairs where they had $3 wooden ink pens. And people say, why would I pay 20 for this one? They get rid of it. You can get gold or you can get garbage. Somebody else mentioned that Scott said, keep a good supply of pen refills handy. That's right. If you do them with the cross type refill, sometimes the kit refills kind of fail after a while, or fail before you even use them.
Good to swap out.
Pardon?
Good to swap out the refills that come with the pen kits with a fresh quality refill.
Yeah, you can get them online at Amazon if you need them. But keep a handful, because if you sell them a pen, they're very inexpensive. You can probably give them a refill, especially if it's I got to use a brand name, Parker, for years. I mean, for 35 years, I carried a Parker 45 in my shirt pocket. I was known for it. And I'd wear them out. You don't wear out ink pens. I'd wear out the mechanisms. So, but getting Parker 45 refills was often difficult. So I've got a box of them here. I had a conversation one day this week with somebody. I said, I always paint mine And this guy does a lot of ornaments. I don't want to mention his name, but Trace does a lot of, oh, I slipped up. Trace does a lot of ornaments, and he had a point. Wood sells better than paint.
True. And I've debated all the snowmen I've done so far. I've put just a quick coat of walnut oil on them just to give them some kind of finish on them. This does not. And then there's the debate. Do you go ahead and paint the faces on, or do you leave them off and let the kids at the home that they end up at do them? So I don't know. I'll probably do some of both this year.
Good.
It's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I did last year is I made what I called the snowman challenge. And I was selling the snowmen in a, what was about maybe a 4-inch high, right? Tabletop models, whatever. Okay. Sell them as a set of 3. Okay. They were unfinished. And the person that bought them would give them to someone that they know and have them paint them however they want. Okay. Then the challenge or whatever is to give one of them back to you, the person who bought them, and keep one for themselves, and then give another one, the third one, to a complete stranger.
That's what Christmas is all about.
Yes, I love that idea. Love that.
Hey, what we do at craft fairs, we sell an unpainted object, and we sell a paint kit with it for 99 cents that we get from a dollar store. And it comes with a brush, so they're able to, you selling the product, and you're not making any money on the paint, but you're selling the product. And my wife does some little artwork that she'll sketch some stuff on canvas, and she'll sell that artwork and the paint. The paint's like $1.
In marketing, that's called added value.
Yes.
Good idea.
Just while we're on with that, I'll go back quickly to the marketing point that I was making earlier on. When you're filling a stand with lots of different things, once it comes to Christmas time, I tend to stick to 1 or 2 products. And if I can share screen.
I think you can. I'm not the host. So
yeah, got it.
There you go. All right.
That is my Christmas stand. You either want a snowman or you don't want anything at all. If you're standing by my stand, you're picking a snowman. And this stand used to generate that many people trying to collect their snowmen that more and more people were coming because people were buying them. That stand held 175 snowmen. So they used to have to pick the 3 that they wanted, because again, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get them not to buy 1, you're trying to get them to buy 3. So I used to price mine individually, but also put a collection together. So it was 3 for. And then the larger ones were sold individually. But just to give you an idea, you know, that is the only product that I mostly sold at Christmas. So make lots of it and sell that product. Don't make lots of different things and try to sell different things. Just sell the product that you know is selling. I work on assumption, make what you sell what you make. That's it. It's as simple as that.
I agree with that. That's worked really well for me too, Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I could, can I share also? I got a little on the same topic.
I can't see you. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, get back.
All right. Oh, maybe not. Share screen.
So you're not as important as me, Matt.
Yeah, I guess not.
Oh, he looks happy.
So these are
He's a happy one.
these are anywhere from 11 to 13 inches tall, so they're big, and they're made 2 parts. And I sell a bunch of these at Christmas too. And I buy the buttons and the ribbon at Joann's Fabrics, local craft store. And I use logs for the hat, so I get the natural bark on it. And I paint the faces on myself with a paint pen. And I give them a squirt of spray, sanding sealer, lacquer sanding sealer, and that's all I do to them. So, and the other stuff is just hot glue and what's the thick and quick, the tight bond thick and quick glue. Clear, it cures clear. So
Yeah.
and I make a bunch of these, and let's see if I can zip through a couple of them here. So I try to decorate them in themes, not that. So, you know, I got like a winter one and a curtain one, and I try to match the colors. And I've got the one fourth from the left is a sort of steampunk guy, and he's a big seller. I sell a lot of them, and all the buttons and stuff all come from Joann's.
Pretty nice.
That
Those
is
are nice.
nice.
Yep, and this is
Like the
I'm not
hats.
supposed to say where I got the idea, but it came from Holly Denny. If those of you who know this, she's given me express permission to make them and sell them, because if I make them and sell them, then she doesn't have to.
Right, that's nice.
That's
Thank you for
nice.
sharing that, Matt. That
Yep.
is really
Very
nice.
nice, Matt.
Matt,
Yeah,
I gotta
plus-
say, that first one that you showed looked evil. Looked like he was up to something.
Yeah, it looked like he just did something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's up to
Well, it's
something.
legal in Michigan.
Uh-huh.
Well, and I got some that are looking at each other. So like this guy's, he's up to something, you know, he's looking to the side, he's watching somebody else. And
Right.
Cool.
Yeah, I love
Alter
that.
ego. That's an alter ego.
Great chance to play with design. That's what it is.